Right, I'd like to tell you about some of the modifications I'm making to my Triumph Tiger 800. Now, some of the modifications I've started and some are for a future date. Now, it breaks down into basically four things. There's the silencer, the air intake, there's the oxygen sensor on the exhaust headers, and there's the catalytic converter which I want to remove. Now, I've had the bike about 18 months, no problems with it, love it to bits, but the biggest gripe with the bike is the exhaust system, and especially this silencer. It's an absolute eyesore. It looks like a stainless steel kitchen pedal bin, and as for sounding like a Tiger, more like a mildly pissed off feral cat. So I'm going to drill some holes in it, and you do that with this bad boy. They don't like it up 'em. So this is just a 38mm 1.5" hole cutter jammed into a piece of tube, goes in a lecky drill. This is just a guide, bit of plastic, could be a piece of wood. So the idea is this will sit in the tube nice and tight, so that when I start drilling it doesn't flail around. So like that. Stick that down there till you come to this baffle plate. Now this exhaust has got big divider plate and two opposing tubes that miss each other. So the idea is you're going to drill a hole this diameter in the middle of the dividing plate. Put a bit of cutting fluid on it, no point dry humping it, seeing as it's stainless. So your guide will hold the drill in the middle inside the silencer, and all you've got to do is line up the drill shaft approximately in the middle of the exit hole and drill away. And if you're lucky, the disc you cut should remain in the end of there. So with a big hole in the silencer, should sound a bit better. Oh yes. Another modification I've done is to fit an additional temperature sensor to the airbox. Now I'm not going to show you because that will mean removing the tank and the seat and all the plastic work again. But basically it's an additional temperature sensor, pardon you, which is this stainless steel probe here, which then connects through the harness underneath the tank, etc., into the airbox. Now I've disconnected the existing temperature sensor in the airbox, and this one is coupled in to it as well. So the ECU is getting 2 readings. Now the benefit of that is that that sensor is in normal ambient temperature. The one under here is given a false reading really. So it's programmed to ignore this one at certain times and just read off that one, usually through when you're accelerating and tick over and warm up, etc., so it doesn't run lean. Nice. So the next modification is going to be the removal of the oxygen sensor from the exhaust header pipes, which is that little so and so there. Now I'll leave that there for the time being. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to uncouple it. So that traces back to just by the shock absorber. So which is that connector there. And what I'm going to fit in this place is an oxygen sensor blanking plug. Now this has 2 little resistors soldered in. Now I'm guessing that they're the upper and lower limits, or represent the upper and lower limits that the O2 sensor is supposed to work to. So if I fit that, that's it. Right, I'll leave that for the time being. Now I'm just going to lower the bike and we're just going to turn the ignition on and fire it up to show you that there's no engine check light. It's on now as it should be, and when I fire it up it should disappear. Good. An additional check that there's no problems removing the oxygen sensor from the exhaust is to connect the ECU up and run the diagnostics and to see if there's any error codes thrown up, and all being well, this should run clear. Bear with me. Zero faults. Bingo. Now the final part of the modifications will be to remove the catalytic converter, but that's built into the exhaust header pipes, and I need to take off the whole exhaust system, so I'll leave that for part 2 of the video. That'll do. Oh, you got me giggling now.
Go on till I go out. That'll be worse.
I'll be like these comedy actors now, they have these fits.
Yeah. Get it together, come on, you've got to do that last bit, haven't you?
I know, yeah.
Will that give you a bit of extra power, taking the cat out there? Do you have to give it any more air?
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you do that then?
It's a long story, you'll have to watch the video.
Oh, okay.